person that has kids in the classroom, and the teachers and the principal and the superintendent, the administrators are working really hard to make sure kids have every opportunity they can get in the midst of COVID. It's been a tough year for education and for these teachers, but they're doing a great job here, so we wanted to stop in, see how they're doing it, tell them thank you.
I wondered if you'd ask or would answer a question on the subject of vaccination.
Sure.
Obviously, we're expecting our vaccine supply, one of our main issues, to improve over the coming months. Wondered about resources for local health departments like ours in Northeast Tennessee. They face limited manpower funding. Right now, the options to get the vaccine, they often involve either waiting in long lines for drive-through sites, or you're calling all day trying to get through to make an appointment to be vaccinated. So in the future, what is the state's plan to help allocate more resources to these health departments to help them vaccinate more people?
I'm really proud of the way our state health departments and public health centers have come together to develop a plan for vaccine distribution in Tennessee. The CDC said that Tennessee has the best plan in the country, and we were very proud of that. It's proving out to be a well-designed plan because we are one of the top 5 most efficient states in the country in the distribution of vaccine. The limit, the lines, the frustration, the appointments is a result of limited supply, and we have no control, of course, over that supply. We are at the mercy of the federal government for vaccine supply. That is distributed every week to states by the federal government, and we turn around and distribute that into the arms of Tennesseans. So as that supply increases, then Tennesseans will have greater access, and we're going to turn that around just as fast as we can get it.
Governor, are you at all concerned that the limited supply and some of the delays might mean teachers will receive their vaccinations a little bit later than folks had hoped?
Well, we have based our plan on a risk-based distribution model. So those in nursing homes, the vulnerable, the elderly, and then we moved to categories of folks that we think are most important with regard to the infrastructure of our state. Teachers are in that first category. So once we have moved through the age-based risk distribution, we then move to teachers. They have received a priority in our state. It's very important that we get vaccine to teachers as soon as possible. We are concerned about just how quick we'll get those vaccines. We do think, and we are encouraged by the news coming from the federal government, that their distributions will increase. We already know next week we'll get more than we did last week. We're hopeful that happens every week, and that will mean that we get teachers vaccinated sooner than later. Very important to us, the safety of our teachers who are working so hard in the midst of this pandemic is of utmost importance, and we want to get them vaccinated as soon as possible.
Are you also hopeful, as all this happens, that systems like Kingsport, which is in a sort of a modified hybrid, will be able to go into a full face-to-face in person?
We talked about that here today. There are plans to move from hybrid to full in person. We're seeing those plans be laid out all across the state. Tennessee has been one of the earliest states in the country to have in-person learning, beginning from August and continuing on through till today. Our districts in our state, only 2 of our 147 districts are not in person. Those 2 districts have already begun to make plans to move in person, so we're very encouraged that our kids are going to get the best education, because we know that in-person learning is better than virtual learning. And we also know that parents should have a choice. If they feel like their kid needs to be learning virtually, that's what we want to give them the choice. But if they want their kid to be in person, we want to have that option for them.
Are those 2 districts, I'm assuming, possibly Memphis area and Nashville?
Shelby and Davidson, and I think the Davidson County School Superintendent announced today a plan for reopening in person, and I believe that's true of Shelby County as well.
All right. That's all the time we have.
Thanks, y'all.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you, guys.